fifth hour radio show.
So, Coach Thompson, how did you initially get into becoming a cheerleader yourself? If I'm not mistaken, you were first a football player in high school, right?
Played a little football. I was a gymnast and I was a diver. Those are the two sports I would say. The gymnastics and diving that I did throughout high school. Football I tried for like 1 year, and it was fun. I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed diving and gymnastics more. And then so I went to University of Florida. I was there one day during the summer. A couple girls were walking by, and I started tumbling. Trying to show out for some of these ladies.
Yeah,
And
I hear you.
yeah, one of the ladies actually was a cheerleader, and she sent her partner, who lived in my dorms. His name was Tall, over, and like he asked me, he was like, "Hey, you should come out and try cheerleading." And I was like, that's for sissies. I ain't doing that, and he kept on me. He said, "Hey man, you come out and try this. I think you like it." And I remember one day sitting in my dorm on a Sunday, and I was literally bored, sitting there twiddling my thumbs. And he comes knocking on my door, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna go stunt around outside. You want to come check it out?" And just because of sheer boredom, I was like, "Yeah, I'll come check it out." And I remember going over there, and I remember walking up on him, and I see this guy. He was like 6'6", probably like 260 pounds, and he takes this girl, and he just tosses her like way up really high and catches her on one arm. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to stunt with some of the girls, and they were really nice to me, and they showed me what I was supposed to do and things like that. And it was really athletic. Took a lot of skill, and I just enjoyed it. And ever since that day, I was hooked. Something new to do.
So once you started practicing and learning the ropes, how quick of adjustment was it for you? Was it an easy adjustment? Was it a difficult?
Yeah, the gymnastics and diving really helped with my body awareness and the balancing and those sorts of things. So I picked it up really fast. Like I went to summer school that summer, and by the time I tried out, I was one of the better guys on JV, and your first year you couldn't cheer in varsity, you could only be on JV.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to do some of the stuff about halfway through my first year that a lot of the guys on the varsity team was doing. And then next year I made the varsity team, and I remember going to the SEC tournament and running into some Kentucky cheerleaders, and I was where I was positioned on the court, I was right next to the Kentucky cheerleaders. I was like, oh man, it's the Kentucky cheerleaders. I need to do some really cool stuff with my partner, so I started doing some really good stunts and tumbling. And then during halftime, one of the captains came over and was like, hey man, you're out there doing some really cool stuff. What's your name? And I introduced myself, and met him again later on the next day, and they're like, hey, you should come up and maybe think about cheering at Kentucky. And so later on that April, I went up there and tried out, and the rest is history. I've been here ever since. So I'm very fortunate for being able to be positioned in that corner and having the opportunity to meet and talk to some of those cheerleaders at the time.
So how did you land the UK head coaching spot? It's such a prestigious position to have, but also with that comes a tremendous amount of pressure. How did you know, or better yet, how did you let the University of Kentucky know that, that position was meant for you?
Well, so after I cheered for 3 years, 97, 98, and 99, and then I cheered 2 years before that at Florida, so I had 5 years cheering. I still had one more year of school left, actually a year and a half. I was getting ready to get my MBA here at UK,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was still going to be here at school, and wanted to still be involved in cheerleading, so I became an assistant coach, and I did that for 3 years. And then as the head coach, he moved on. He got a job in pharmaceuticals, and so the position came open and asked me if I was interested in doing it, and I was like, yeah, and so I kind of stumbled onto that. And what you're talking about pressure, we'd won 8 straight up until that point, and my first year we're going for 9 straight, and I actually lost that year. We had a really good routine, but we just didn't execute as well. So talk about feeling the heat. First
Yeah,
year coach
the weight of
comes
the world
in.
on your shoulders.
Oh yeah, everybody expects us to automatically win, and I let them down. I'm talking about. I was like so depressed after that, but I was able to recover. Next year we won We won the year after, and then we won 3 years straight. So, I was able to pick it back up, and I realized, being the coach of Kentucky, they always had a great history of winning. So, I just wanted to make sure I was able to do that. But what I really wanted to add to that myself is to make sure we're helping, our athletes to graduate, to go on and be productive members of society as well. So that was one of the kind of the focus I place on it, not just winning championships, but seeing them go on and do well for themselves as well. So.
I want to talk about how someone even becomes a cheerleader for the University of Kentucky. On television, during sporting events, cheerleading takes a back seat to the games and commercials, but that's kind of misleading to the general public. I mean, it's a big deal, especially at the University of Kentucky. What's the process like? What do you look for when you're trying to pick out a squad?
Well, we put on 2 clinics a year, 2 recruiting clinics where kids from all over the country, they come in and they get to work out with us. They tumble, they stunt. We talk about our program, our expectations, and those sorts of things. During the clinic, we kind of take notes, we do take notes on all the seniors. And at the end of the clinic, we extend invitations to try out. Like, in order to try out for University of Kentucky, you have to be extended an invitation. So at the end of that clinic, the kids that we feel that would be great in our program, a good fit for our program, we extend them an invitation to try out. And normally, between the 2 clinics, we give out anywhere from about 40 to 60 invitations. And so then they come back in May and try out. And from that pool of about 100 candidates, we try to wean it down to about 25 males and females to comprise the University of Kentucky cheerleading program. So it's just a process of going through and selecting, from this pool of highly talented athletes, the best ones and the ones that we think would be successful here, not only just from an athletic standpoint, but from grades and just like character as well.
Yeah.
Because since we can get the best, it doesn't just have to be just on athletics. We can, we expect everybody to be athletic, but now we look for other things to separate them. We do a lot of stuff within the community where they go out and speak with alumni, and we have more contacts than NCAA sport athletes are allowed. So we need kids that can go out and talk to alumni and donors, and be able to carry on a conversation and not kind of look shell shocked. So. We have, in our tryout, we have an interview portion, which is worth about 25% of the score. And what we're, again, looking to determine is, we know this person's athletically talented, but can they go out and hold a conversation? Can they have stimulating conversation with a donor? Can they make that donor feel like, hey, this is a University of Kentucky cheerleader, and if the rest of the kids at the UK are like this, I feel good about this school that I graduated from. So those are some of the other things we kind of look for as well.
Now, when you say winning the national championship, what does that mean? How do different collegiate squads compete for this title?
We put together a 2.5-minute routine of stunts, tumbling, pyramids, baskets, and then a cheer. And what we try to do, especially here at Kentucky, is just try to be innovative and try to do the more difficult skills, but still do them to where they're executed cleanly. I think that's one of the things that we do pretty well. We do a lot of difficult skills, and we do them so well they don't really look that difficult,
Yeah.
But that's one of the things we strive for. And we just try to pack more into a routine than what our competitors would do. So not only is the pace of the routine fast, but the skills that we're executing are very difficult. So you have that speed of routine combined with difficult stunts to make for a very visual and very appealing type routine, and that's, I feel, gives us a winning routine.
Now, how many titles total have you won since you've been head coach?
7 as a head coach.
7? That's amazing, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You kind of, like you said, we were talking earlier about the pressure. I think you've you've handled that pretty good.
Yeah, I feel. I mean, that's one of the things I love about this job. I mean, everybody expects you to win, and so it puts a lot of pressure on us. But it's pressure that I welcome, and it's pressure that the kids welcome because we only take the type of kids, that we feel can thrive in that kind of pressure cooker, and can, give the best results under those circumstances. So I like it, the kids like it, and we like being at the top. And our plan this year is to get back to the top.
Do you or your team have a website that our listeners can check out, to get information on the squad or the university?
Yes, we do. It's www.ukathletics.com. Once you're there, you can just go to Fan Zone and then click on Cheerleading, and then you'll be at our webpage. And then also we have a Facebook page, which is Kentucky Cheerleading on Facebook, and then we have Twitter and Instagram, which is just at Kentucky Cheer. So we're very social media savvy. We do a lot of things that just kind of help spread about our university, about our athletic program, and then about our cheerleaders ourselves. So, especially with a lot of the kids that we want to recruit, these high school kids coming into college, social media is a big part of their lives.
Yeah.
So we try to stay relevant in that area as well.
And real quick, when will the next national competition be?
January 18th. So it's getting ready to come up here in a couple of months. We've already started working on our nationals routine. And then also, with that, we're still in the middle of football, and basketball is getting ready to start, and then we do volleyball. So we've got our plate full with, just a lot of things coming up. But we feel very great about, athletics here, football, turning that corner, basketball. I feel we're going to have a tremendous year with our basketball team. So we're very excited about Kentucky athletics.
Well, Coach Thompson, thank you for being on our show. Really appreciate it.
No problem. It's great being with you guys.
The 25th Hour Radio